One.
Rock and roll, AJ. Rock and roll. Guys, we're live and welcome to the Hey Frase Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Fraser, along with Andrea Lopez. I am not on vacation.
Girl! Even though she got her hair did, she got her nails did, but she's here. We're live.
Okay, now let me be honest, because we have a ton to talk about. Obviously, over the weekend, many huge A-list stars trending. So Justin Bieber for alleged sexual assault. I don't think that we have been live since the Crystalia, all the Crystalia dirt came out, right? All the Crystalia allegations. We haven't been live, right?
Right, last Wednesday. Yes, correct.
Okay, so this is our first time. So we're talking about that. Ansel Elgort, from Baby Driver. I enjoyed that film. Did you watch that film?
Never saw that film, but he's attractive.
Very attractive. Okay, well, also alleged sexual assault. So we'll talk about that. So many things going on. Ja Rule is trending this morning for this amazing Greek commercial. And apparently you can now hire him to come to your COVID party.
He's trending for all the right reasons.
He's the only person trending for all the right reasons. But anyway, I'm in Detroit, Michigan. I'm going to be doing the show live from here for the next couple of weeks because we're visiting Dan's mom. Everybody thought that I was on vacation, but there's no vacation. There's no rest for the wicked. We are live.
We never take no break. Sarah's got her little hanky. She's ready to go.
I got my little, hanky hank.
Sniff.
Also, yesterday was Father's Day, so I want to find out how it went for you guys, what you were up to. And then later on the show, my boss, for the very first time from Fox 5, is going to join the show, Patrick Paolini.
Woo! Very excited. It's been forever. I mean, I always hear about this Patrick. I've never been able to have a full-on convo.
Okay, well, Patrick is going to be on the show. So what's fun, he's the general manager of Fox DC, right? So he hired me years ago. We've been friends. And then, when I was on the radio for Sarah and Mel, then he said, I want to do a podcast where we debate politics. Now, this is like, I don't know shit about politics. I really don't. And I don't really care, although I'm caring more,
Yeah.
Because obviously it impacts all of our lives. There's very important bills that need to be passed. I vote. So everybody will be on the message. Do you vote? Yes. I exercise my right to vote. But anyhow, so Patrick asked me to do his show, and I think it's like 2 years old. We debate about politics. And he just had Tamron Hall, the talk show host, on to talk about Black Lives Matter. I am such a fan of her. So I said, Patrick, you need to come on our show, talk about the interview, and then tell our audience what kind of an employee I am. Because I feel like I'm probably one of the standouts at Fox. They just don't tell me that.
I was going to say that you're just inappropriate, but in a good way. Like you go right up to the top limit and then that's the line. You hinder on the line of too much.
Well, I think they've wanted to fire me numerous times and I'm not sure how. Honest to God. Like I did a whole podcast series for them. I still have a key card because I was in shock. I'm always in shock when I roll up there and the key card still works. And I think to myself, have they just not shut this off? Like, I don't know. So anyway, he's going to join us and talk about his podcast. And, we don't talk a lot of politics on this show, but I think he'll tell you more about, what you can find. And if you want to hear me in a different light, I'm always debating politics,
Oh, always. Yeah. And
with him.
Oh, so you actually ask questions back. That's good.
Well, I'm his perfect co-host because when push comes to shove, I don't know a lot about it. So like, ultimately he can just like fire away. And I'm like, is that correct? I don't really know, Like,
you just kind of fact check him and then he comes back with a good response. You're like, all right, that sounds good. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you got me there because I only read one article. You got me there. We're moving on. So anyway, Patrick Paolini will join us later on the show. So if you have any questions for a TV boss, ask him. We are live right now on Twitch, on Periscope, on YouTube, on Facebook. Always go to facebook.com/HeyFrase. We are not on vacation till I think the week after the 4th of July. So we'll keep you posted on that. Shout out to Karen. Karen said it looked like her and Dan were living in our vehicle. Real question, which I messaged Sarah, is why was her car so packed to drive to Michigan? Okay. Well, we're staying here in Michigan for a month and we are staying at my mother-in-law's house. I will give you a full tour. Like maybe my mother-in-law will be on the show. I don't know.
That would be fantastic. Bring her on.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
My mother-in-law is so sweet. She is a trip. And actually she could advise all of our listeners because she's a criminal defense attorney. And I feel like a lot of us are delinquents on this program. So were you arrested for DUI over the weekend? Do you have a question for my mother-in-law? She'll help you. She's the best.
Okay. I know somebody that has 5 DUIs, so we could get her some.
Is this person under the age of 30?
I believe she's like 33. But
okay,
yes,
she's currently in a rehab center, correct?
Nope, she's out there. She's had the breathalyzer in her car before. You can't start the engine without the breathalyzer test. Yes.
Andrea, is she a real friend of yours? This woman has a serious drinking problem.
Yes, we are aware. It's my cousin's best friend. She's been at multiple birthday parties with us, and I had no idea. All of a sudden, my cousin announces this weekend, and we all go, we need to have a intervention. Yeah.
Like if you were a friend of mine and had 5 DUIs, like if I saw you at a party, I'd actually take the drink out of your hand. I'd be like, bitch, no, there's not even, I don't care. I'm confronting you all the time. That is insane.
I know it's not something to laugh at. She could have really seriously injured herself or someone else. And yeah, I think she's taking it seriously now. I don't know why it took 5 DUIs, but yeah.
And they're expensive. Every time you get busted for DUI, like $10,000. So this bitch has spent $50,000 and she's still like, I would be working 24/7.
Oh no, I know. We should have her on, honestly, just to have life experience talks.
People are obviously fascinated by our car. They look like they were traveling hoarders from Dan Schmanamy. Okay, so here's the deal. We're staying with my mother-in-law, but so Dan, you guys, do you guys ever pack with your significant other and then want to get divorced? My husband is so fucking annoying. So, we still have to travel with a giant coronavirus preparedness kit. Okay.
And that takes up half of the back space of the car.
And this is like a fireproof box. Okay. It is literally made of heavy, heavy plastic with this massive thing. And it's filled with things like if you just basically got explosive diarrhea. I mean, there's like diapers in there. There's Pedialyte. There's like Ensure. It's like, Dan,
it is the apocalypse preparedness kit. Do you guys really need that?
Oh my God. He has a tourniquet. If I were to like lose an arm, he could patch me up. It's like, hey, okay, Dan, remember at the start of Corona when we weren't sure if grocery stores and drugstores were going to be open? Well, guess what? They're staying open through COVID. So that takes up one whole car seat. He has to get that in there. Plus my entire set, right? So I have a giant green screen, lights. Then, we are so bougie. We only like our own coffee maker. So he has to pack the coffee maker, the blender.
Stop. And he brought his blender. I'm sorry. Does your mother-in-law not have a blender?
No.
What?
So he doesn't have the super powered one that he wants. You guys, we literally packed the entire vehicle in there. He wanted his night lights. We brought fans.
What are you talking about the night lights? What is a night light? You guys sleep with night lights?
He has like a light that clamps to his book. So if I'm sleeping, it's like a dull light that he can read. You guys, when I tell you, and my husband is a fucking pain in the ass when it comes to packing. He believes that he can pack a vehicle to have a certain amount of weight so it's evenly distributed. I'm like, it's a goddamn Ford Fusion that's 15 years old. Throw the shit in if we lose a wheel. Like, that's the least of our troubles. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
Oh, God rest his soul. But I mean, you need to get him. He is such a nerd. You need to get him like a headlamp to read at night. I mean, that's what I'm imagining.
Yes, basically he has a headlamp. You guys, we brought a projector because my mother-in-law is amazing. So she basically like works and reads. So she has no television. So he's going to fire up a projector attached to our computer. Stop. You guys, I'm dead serious. I need to do a full-on interview with my mother-in-law. It's hysterical.
Wait, you guys brought a projector and then you could probably just use your green screen as like the sheet.
You guys, we're going to fire up this massive green screen as we're going to put it out on the lawn and watch movies together. When I tell you like the amount of craziness to this house, we packed a cooler full of, he doesn't want to stop and get sandwiches because of Corona. We loaded up with sandwiches, which you guys, I cannot even tell you. I know it looked like we were on the run when I posted pictures of that.
Everyone was concerned for you. Even I got DMs. Like, is she okay? Like, is the foot guy coming after her? I'm like, guys, Sarah is fine.
This is what people do when they flee in the middle of the night from like a third world country. They hop in their 15-year-old shag wagon that they've got that's like ready to lose a wheel with every possession that they have. You guys, we brought the blender, the projector. He's got night lights. I mean, I've got podcast equipment. If we had gotten pulled over, I don't even know what people would have thought. Like,
I know. I'm surprised you didn't get stopped at one of the state borders. Excuse me, are you hauling, like, I don't know, medicine for coronavirus in there?
And you guys should see his preparedness kit. And he has all this dried fruit, again, as though we were going to be trapped.
Yes.
And if you eat his dried fruit, he gets very upset and he goes, those are like the only snacks I can have because he's plant-based. I'm like, guess what? There's 18 grocery stores here in Detroit, Michigan. We can roll on over to.
Go find some vegan snacks there.
God, he is like, you guys, he's too much. It's so anyway, that's why people are dying. The blender, LOL.
2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, 2 cola doves, and a blender with a green screen.
That is our caravan. So I will be doing tons of social media for the next month, and we will fire up this, and Dan and Margaret and I will nestle in and watch a movie on the green screen.
Please, and please record it. Now, I don't want to jump a gun, but I did advertise that you saw Sammy K. I want to get a quick recap of Sammy K.
Okay, you guys. So people want to know the whole scoop. Obviously, Sammy K, long time, co-hosted with him on the Kane show. We started together. How many years ago would the Kane show have started? I think I was hired in 2007. So what was that, like 14 years ago? Yeah. 13 years ago. Okay. So on Thursday night, we decide to meet up for pictures of margaritas. First time out at a restaurant. I haven't social distanced at all this week. And
you've been crazy. What does Dan think about all this? Like,
he's pissed. He's pissed. He's pissed. I got my hair done. I got my nails done. Now, they're really not black. They're green, but they're being picked up by the green screen.
Oh, right.
I went and had a picture of margaritas at a restaurant, sat down in Arlington. I don't know. The entire staff could have COVID. How do I know?
Well, were they wearing the masks? Were they?
Absolutely not.
Okay. What?
They had gloves on. No, they did have gloves on and masks. I don't want to get in trouble because people probably know where the location is. So yes, they had gloves on. They had masks on. I meet up with our old friend, Sammy. Sammy is doing amazing. You all know he went on Shark Tank. He slayed. Yes. Mark Cuban is an investor. He says Mark Cuban is like most unbelievable business mentor. They're producing snack chips like you wouldn't believe, like Snacklins. And like everybody wants to know if he'll ever come back to broadcasting. He hates broadcasting. He never wants to come back ever.
I find that so mind-blowing because when he was on the Kane show, I feel like that was a great gig for him. He could just do CBD oil every day and just like talk shit on the radio.
And, Sammy, like for a long time was like the star of that show because he was, he drove a Mini Cooper. He was like he branded himself, and we used to call him Critter because he lived in like 14th Street and he never bathed. And
he just like always was sweaty with like cracker dust on his shirt, which AKA was dandruff.
He just was like, and something happened. I can't remember if he had kept rodents for a while or if rodents were living with him. There was a reason that he was a critter, right? So anyway, he doesn't, because I pitched to him when we were having margaritas. I said, you need to be the next Anthony Bourdain. You're worldly. You're worldly. People love you. You love food. He'll go out to any restaurant and order snails and 2 frog legs. None of the shit that we want, I'm sorry. My palate is not sophisticated,
Maybe I haven't hung out with Sammy K enough, but I wouldn't call him the modern day Anthony Bourdain. Those are large shoes to fill, okay?
But see, I think he really is because he has a personality like Anthony Bourdain. It's cantankerous. It's very moody. It's very
curmudgeon-y. Yeah,
it's curmudgeon-y. Towards the end, he co-hosted the first year of this podcast, and he was really always trying to launch Snacklins, really. So I knew eventually he wouldn't want to stay, but towards the end, he was really over it. So he'd come in, he'd have a bottle of water, he'd do about 18 drops of liquid THC, and he'd be like, "Are you ready to fucking start? I got to get out of here and make snacks." I was like,
"What?"
I was like, how about some, positive attitude around here?
Right.
We're all ready to do a podcast where we love our listeners. He's like, shh, let's fucking roll. I'm like, okay, you know what? He's little Anthony. So I said to him, let me produce the show. You need to be Anthony Bourdain. You will be an amazing Anthony Bourdain. You could travel the world, which he loves to travel. He told me that his goal now is to buy a place in Penang. I couldn't even pick out Penang on a map.
Okay.
Penang.
Did he just do the world map trip where he just like spun the globe and landed on Penang?
He wants a place in Paris. He wants a place in Penang. Why didn't we come up with chips?
Okay,
wow. I'm here behind a green screen.
Real good. He's talking about buying a little chateau in Paris.
A flat in Paris. Penang. He said, I can't wait to come visit your ass.
Yeah.
I said, you need to be the next Anthony Bourdain. Because Anthony Bourdain brought people together. He brought all cultures together. He brought war zones together. He brought people together over food and drink. And that is what Sammy loves to do. He's bringing the world together now via vegan snack chips. And he goes, fuck no, don't you even ask me that. He's like, I hate television. No, I'm done. I don't want to be on TV. So anyway, needless to say, he shot down my idea. Doesn't want to do it.
All right. Well, what about a podcast? Because we do obviously virtual, but he doesn't have to do the video component.
No, he hates it so much. He said that he really does. And yeah, he does. He hates television. He doesn't want to be on camera. He hates all the things that go along with TV, all the and Sammy never was good at schmoozing with all the like radio guy, because obviously it was mostly white old men that ran radio, still is.
Yes.
So he never was one for, schmoozing with that and putting up with, because it was always the 70-year-old white guy, right? Who basically should be on a walker coming in. And he's like, you know what 30-year-old women want to hear? They want to hear about, I don't know, who was some loser artist that only had one hit, They want to hear about Jason Mraz, how Jason Mraz starts his day. And it's like, fuck all the way up, dude. You're 70 years old. You couldn't pick Jason Mraz up out of a lineup. And, we were at the time on 99.5. Everybody wanted to hear about our sex lives and, all that stuff.
Of course. Yes.
Anyway, but Sammy is great. He wanted me to tell everybody hi. He's super excited. His business is going great. And it was awesome to catch up. And I adore him because he's very real in real life. Like Sammy is not pretentious at all.
And we do love that side about him. All right. Okay. And Snacklands is doing great. He wants to expand. What is he selling at like all national?
They're almost nationwide. They're in a lot of local Whole Foods. I think they're coming to, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving away secrets here. I'm not supposed to.
Did you sign a non-NDA?
No, but I probably should have. Anyway, someone has the original. I had an original bag of Snacklands when he still made them at home. Wish I'd kept the bag. They're so good.
Yeah. Did he send you off with little goodie bags, Sarah?
No, he didn't give me one damn Snackland.
Oh my gosh.
I told him we end up buying the Snacklands actually from, we go to Whole Foods and we get the Snacklands.
Oh yeah, of course.
Panera Bread. What is Penang is a place in Asia. Panera Bread. What is Pana? Penang, isn't it in Thailand? Someone, come on.
Penang. It's in Asia.
It's in Asia. Becky says, I love me some Sammy K. So do I. Nobody is more genuine. And, we've been through so much together. I mean, and we've been through periods of our lives where, we left the Kane show. They basically told us on the way out, you two will never amount to anything. And, you two are the reason, that you have to leave because you both are troublemakers and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, fast forward 13 years, I think we've all seen, I don't want to say that we were right, but we were right.
But you were right. Yeah. You had way bigger things to get to.
Well, yeah. And I mean, everybody knew the show was toxic. They didn't know then, but in an effort to try to keep us quiet, it was like, you guys are losers. See you later. And I love seeing him win. Because, when Sammy was leaving the Kane show, they tried to make it like Sammy was the problem, which wasn't true.
That is so toxic. That is
right.
So
we all
toxic.
know, but now we all know 13 years later, who the real issue was. But anyhow,
of course, yeah.
You have to be on when you're a media personality, and Sammy has too much of a I don't give a fuck attitude. He really does. And the greatest part about Sammy is he really genuinely doesn't enjoy people. And so he doesn't. I think to some extent, Anthony Bourdain at least played the game. But Sammy really doesn't. And that was the thing I can remember. The last event we did together was a old Clarendon days or something. And this woman came up and she was probably 65 years old. She wanted a koozie. And it was called the Hey Frase Show koozie. And she just came over to help herself. And Sammy snatched it back from her and he goes, tell me right now what a podcast is. You tell me. And she goes, fuck you. He goes, I knew you didn't know. He goes, get out of here. I died laughing because she basically just wanted a freebie.
Of course. Yeah.
But instead of being diplomatic, he would go up to people and he would be like, I know you don't know what a podcast is. Get out of here. It
You know what? Wait, did you guys, but sometimes you make the people answer questions or like trivia, and she just like went over there and grabbed it right off the table.
She came over to the table. She helped herself. But I mean, who goes to a 65-year-old woman and snatches back a fucking 99-cent koozie and questions her if she knows a pot? I'm like, I think we can let it go. But he's like,
give her the koozie. This isn't like a pot of gold. Like, just let her have it.
And in radio, there was always a saying, you had prize pigs, and he hated a prize pig. Like, he would hate a prize pig because, you'd have people that would just show up to your events because they wanted another free t-shirt, and he would confront them
all the time. When I worked in Corning, oh my God. I mean, they only were prize pigs at the fair. We used to do live broadcasts at fairs.
Oh my God. I mean, when I worked at 94.7, I think they even had Cow Shit Girl, and she worked out on a farm out in Virginia, and she would come and she would have literal cow shit on her clothes, and she would want
Hell no. Okay, well, you should give her one if she had cow shit. Be like, honey, take this t-shirt. Put something else on.
We gave her all kinds of free clothes. She'd still show up with cow shit. Only then it would be like classic rock, 94.7. It'd be covered in shit. We're like, oh my God. What an endorsement. But anyway, I think it was good that Sammy got out before, everybody films you now. So it's like, it's good that he got out before the 65-year-old woman took out the camera and was like, oh, really?
He would have had all the accusations against him.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, you guys are amazing right now. Be sure to share the show. Hit a watch party on your Facebook or share the show with someone who has never heard of us. Hi to everybody on Periscope, Twitch. Leave us a comment. And everybody has thoughts. My stepdaughter lives there. Oh, I guess people are talking about other things. I don't know. Oh my God. I was just about to bring up when he told the old lady off for asking for more free stuff. Sandy, it was a classic moment. It was when he snatched back that, and she didn't know. I mean, she was a prize pig. She had no idea what a podcast was. She was just collecting free shit at old Clarendon days. So in that regard, I love Sammy K. All right, let's hit some. First of all, tell me this. I loved seeing your dad, Benito, is an amazing father. He's such an awesome guy. Yesterday was Father's Day. It's a hi to all the amazing dads. My brother's a father. He's such a great father to Kimber. I lost my dad when I was 15. So I think it's so great that we celebrate parents when they're here. And hopefully, everybody enjoyed the day. So tell us about Benito and your Father's Day.
Yes. Well, I want to second that. I know our old intern, Irene, she had posted that, it can be hard for a lot of people if you've lost a parent, but, just thankful to all the fathers out there, whether they're in a good place now, a better place, or you're still with them, and just really cherish the time. So yesterday, my brother and Leonor headed back up to New York. They have been doing the same thing you and Schman have been doing. So we got to celebrate with them. We made breakfast for Papa Lopez. We did a whole present opening. We went for a walk, and then we did gardening, which my dad hates. I don't know why we did gardening, but it was like a fun family thing, I guess. Like my parents started yelling at each other, and then my mom was like, I hate you. I was like, all right, calm down, everyone. When we spend too much time together, and then you just end up like yelling at each other. But overall, he's the best dad I could ever ask for. It's just so funny. Like you just grow up with that, with two parents, and you realize how much you're like them. I mean, they raised you. It's just it's so insane. So we had a great day. He loves Sebastian Maniscalco. He's a comedian, an Italian comedian. My dad quotes him every single day. So I got him a couple like merch items from Sebastian Maniscalco. He loved it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. But just quality time. We eat together as a family all the time. So that was kind of like the big thing we did. We had a huge brunch.
What do you think the biggest trait is, or what do you think the biggest gift that your dad has ever given you? Because your father is awesome, and he's kind of a performer like you are.
Yes, he's a Latin percussionist. He's a part of like 3 different Latin percussion bands. He's an amazing conga and drum player. So I think it's just he always has to be the center of attention at parties. Now, when we're together, I let him take the stage. He has the stage, but I think it's just being like just trying to always pacify the situation with comedy, which I find he does all the time. Like if there's ever like a serious situation, he just tries to make everyone laugh. He does voices. So I think it's just that whole performing shtick that we both share. And he's so loud. He's so hilarious. And but he talks to everyone.
He's a really friendly guy.
Oh my God. I mean, we know every single neighbor anywhere. I mean, it'll be 5 a.m. He's driving me to Megabus. He says hi to the crossing guard. I'm like, how do you know him? He's like, oh, I went to high school with him. You're like, what? He knows everyone though, but it's crazy. So I appreciate how funny he is and how open and big personality. I feel like that's what I got from him.
An awesome gift. April says it's hard for me as mine isn't here, but grateful for the husband and to our boys. Yeah, I was thinking about that because I was just watching Red Table Talk this morning with Jada Pinkett and Will, and Will Smith was talking about being a dad and what he learned from his dad. And of course, I only had like 15 years with my dad, but I was thinking one of the best things I think he ever gave to me, which has worked out well, but this I feel like is, I don't know, I guess it's a good lesson, but he always was such a saver. Like he was really good with money. And I feel like it's kind of a weird life lesson because everybody else has like, your dad is like great personality. I don't know. My dad just like saved money.
You're like, he was a good financially savvy person.
I was trying to think after Jada Pinkett. I was like, because Will Smith goes into this lesson that his dad had when Will was a small boy, they basically renovated this old garage because his dad was an entrepreneur. Wow. But I do think that was a good lesson. I thought, God, what lesson did my dad give me? But I think one of the biggest ones, I was like, I guess he financially planned well. That's it. That's
he had a great life insurance policy, and that was great for us.
I thought, well, that was the biggest lesson, I guess, which that one really wasn't that great. It wasn't like I was trying to think if I had this amazing moment with my dad that then like projected my entire life. And I was thinking, I didn't.
Okay.
He always had a lot of insurance, which I guess is a great lesson.
Well, do you remember anything like funny that he like, did he eat well? Was he good at traveling, like planning trips? All right. Okay. Money it is.
because before he passed, they never really had money. So before I was 15, I think we flew on a plane once, but they didn't really have any money. So we never, like when I was a kid, we never could afford to go to Disney. We went to Hershey Park once. The first house I ever lived in had no heat. So it was run by like a wood stove. And sometimes in the morning, because we lived in Northern Maine, when we would wake up, there would be frost inside the walls of the house.
Absolutely not. Oh my God.
that's right. So they didn't, but no, he did teach me a lot of lessons. I think too, also like he had such a fear of not having money. I almost think that too isn't good. I think he also taught me balance. Like you can't worry about these things so much,
Of course. I know.
So I'm not articulating this very great because it sounds very shallow. Like my dad did nothing with us except for, I guess, opened a bank account or two. But he was really, they were great parents. They were really great parents, I have to say. But my mom is the comedian. She was the comedian of the family. And my mom's a trip. Yeah. Oh my God, Mama Fraser's a trip anyway. All right, let's thank a couple sponsors. I want to hit, there's so many big stories. Justin Bieber coming out this morning with allegations of, alleged sexual assault, Chris D'Elia, and we'll also talk about Ansel Elgort real quick. Mm-hmm. So we're so excited about this new sponsor. Are you guys into the paranormal? Well, these guys are real life ghost hunters, and we couldn't be more excited about having them on. Do you feel like your house is haunted? Your office is haunted? Are you trying to get in touch with the dead? Well, East Coast Spirit Chasers do just that. No, they cover from Savannah, Georgia, all the way to New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, and Connecticut. They have investigated everything from prisons, asylums, inns, and they will do personal clients if you feel there's a ghost in your house and you need to get them out. They also have Facebook pages and a YouTube series. Go to East Coast Spirit Chasers on YouTube, East Coast Spirit Chasers, or hit their website and then you can watch their YouTube series. Their website is just eastcoastspiritchasers.com, and you can hire them for your own personal ghost tours as well as investigating. Have you ever, AJ, had a haunted house or like ever feel like you've been confronted by a spirit?
Hell yes. I live in a haunted house. They need to come to my house.
We should do a spirit chaser at your place.
Yes.
No, do you know anyone that's actually died? Who died in your house?
Oh my God. I think like 3 of my past relatives, my great-great-grandmother and my great-great-grandfather. I've definitely seen a ghost in my house. We've heard ghosts.
Okay. Have you gotten any sage or shit, or like those spirits are too strong for sage?
We don't believe in sage. We believe in prayers and rosaries.
So what do you rosary them away? Like, what do you just say?
Just pray normally. Also, we feel like they're our family, so they're not going to haunt us in a negative way.
That's good. Because some of these, that is real good. Because, you know, if you did them wrong and then they were haunting you for all the wrong reasons, that would be some fucked up shit. I love these guys.
Right.
We hope to get them on because they get some hell of a stories. East Coast Spirit Chasers. And by the way, if you want to be kept private, like if you've got some sort of axe murderer that's haunting your house and you don't want the world to know, they will keep you private. They're always anonymous, but we are so excited to work with these guys. So you'll be seeing more from East Coast Chasers. Barnard Medical Group, now is the time to take care of your health. Don't wait. We know COVID is going on, but you could be having some serious health issues that you don't want to ignore. BarnardMedical.org is the website. They accept almost all insurance. They're seeing patients in person in the DC area, but also virtually. And they're plant-based. So they really, unlike a lot of doctors who just treat you when you have a problem, they actually get to preventative medicine. They have a new app that's totally free. Download the free 21-day vegan Kickstarter app to utilize meal plans, recipes, and cooking demonstrations from nutritional experts. So, like I said, what is great about Barnard Medical is they combine medical care with the latest advances in prevention and nutrition to help create a healthy care plan designated just for you. Use your telehealth services to receive medical care from the comfort and safety of your own home. They service everybody from California, New York, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland, Missouri, Massachusetts, Arizona, and more. You can also call and make an appointment if you think it's more serious and need to see them in person. 202-527-7500 or go to barnardmedical.org. Real quick, AJ. So Justin Bieber this morning denying allegations that he assaulted a woman at a Four Seasons hotel back in what? A couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, 2014, 2015?
2014, 2015.
It was a while back, yes.
So he says that he has receipts. He's posted the receipts. He says that he was staying at an Airbnb at the time. Danielle is the woman's name, who posted on social media anonymously, was not ready to come forward. And he says he's got receipts. He was staying at an Airbnb with his girlfriend at the time, Selena Gomez. He says he will sue her, and it's completely inaccurate. Do you believe that?
I believe it because he came back ready. He came back ready with the receipts, with everything, the timestamps. I also think it's Justin Bieber back then. He was also underaged, if I'm remembering correctly.
We were trying to do the math. Alyssa's our producer this morning. Alyssa, can you find out how old, and just hop on here, can you find out how old Justin Bieber is and hop on? And how old he would have been at the time of this alleged assault, which was 2014. AJ's right.
Yes. Hold on. Let me check up to see how old he is right now.
Okay. I'm putting on your audio so everybody can hear you.
And also, the accusation stated that they were sitting on the bed for, 10 minutes. He pushed her on the bed and then started kissing her neck and then her stomach. Those were all the accusations that I found. And it didn't say that he did anything other than that.
He'd be 20 when this happened. And I think I saw, or 20 or 21. When it just depends when in the year. Because he's 26 right now.
Okay, so obviously, we believe women, right? And the Chris D'Elia stories, these women had receipts. There's multiple women. Yeah. But were you shocked? Justin Bieber, he came up with receipts in 12 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do you think they keep a folder for him of where he's at all the time because they know that there could be false accusations?
Well, I have to say I was very impressed that he came back with receipts within 12 hours. I was like, damn, his team should be quick.
Scooter Braun, Scoot.
Scoot was on that real fast. Here's one of the receipts where someone took a picture, showed that he was with Selena Gomez, and the girl actually did mention in the accusation that he was with her at the time. He was like, Justin Bieber was with Selena Gomez, they were in a relationship, and yet I still hooked up with him.
Well, he says, yeah.
You go.
No. He's coming for her full force. He says he's going to sue her. He says he doesn't, normally comment, but it's 100% false. And like you said, he had all these receipts.
He was ready. I'm sure this happens all the time. Not saying the women get assaulted all the time. I'm saying that they probably accuse celebrities all the time of this, and it does happen. We've seen so many come out. Yeah. I just think they have to be ready. Now, have you kept everything? Because you never know, who's going to come out and
No, I haven't kept a damn thing. I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh my God, is this shit going to come back to haunt me? I got to delete everything. I was just Googling how to clean out your entire phone. But now I'm thinking I got to keep receipts.
I now have to keep hard drives of receipts But you know what?
It's
we
scary.
both are in relationships, so what really could
That doesn't mean anything. He's married.
No, I know, but we've been in long term, and we're not like the cheating type. You know, we're not of Justin
I am.
Bieber.
My God, I'm a huge flirt. I think I look at all these things. I think, oh my God, this is like, I don't even know where to start. And the worst part is my husband would be like, oh yeah, it's probably true. I mean, that's terrible.
He would say, oh yeah, who do we have? Someone that can back us up.
Anyway, make notes. Someone take notes on this podcast because we'll have to delete it later. Look, my boss is on, and I'm very excited about this because, Patrick Paolini runs the Fox 5, I almost said radio station, TV station here in DC. I've known Patrick for probably 6 or 7 years. He hired me when I was on STM 1073 to be an entertainment reporter. And I have to give Fox credit. They have let me come up with the wildest stuff. I said, oh, hey, I want to do this podcast on all the anchors. They're like, okay, sure. So anyhow, they really have. They let me come up with all these crazy stories. So I'm very grateful for them. And then a couple of years ago, Patrick said to me, I want to do a podcast, The Paolini Perspective. I want you to co-host and produce it with me. And we're going to talk politics and lifestyle and sports. And I said, well, I don't really, have you seen my show? I don't know a lot about politics. And I think that's why he actually wanted me on, because I think every show I make him look better. But I'm going to ask him, Patrick, let's get Patrick on. Patrick Paolini, everybody. And I want you to check out his podcast because he's got a really great podcast, The Paolini Perspective. We're at episode, 103. Woo! Patrick, you're finally on my show.
Sarah, I'm honored. I'm honored. It's taken only 7 years and.
Okay, has it been that long? All right. Well, but here's the thing. I mean, I think most people can say, right? I mean, it's kind of, how are you going to have your boss on a podcast here where we're totally inappropriate all the time? Like I've said to you, what are you going to jump in here and talk about, I don't know, Cardi B's body? No, you're a legit boss. But we have been doing this show together, and you had a huge guest last week, Tamron Hall.
I did. She was terrific.
So for people who don't know, Tamron Hall has a talk show on Fox, right?
Yeah, syndicated talk show, WTTG Fox 5 is airs the show in DC. She airs at 1:00 every day, and she was gracious enough to join our podcast last week to obviously talk about the last. I guess we're almost going on a month now since the George Floyd tragic death, and then the subsequent protests and all that's come following, and all the changes, and appears like it seems like those events have really. I think we're really moving toward change, right? It feels like, listen, the country, as Tamron acknowledged on the podcast last week, we've come a long way in this country. We still have a long way to go, but I think this feels like real change that is happening, and that's to hopefully root out the systemic racism that's gone on for obviously as long as it has. So,
yeah. And, she obviously gave our perspective as a Black woman in media, hosting a show, what she's grown up with, and what she's done on her own show to move and progress. What was your favorite part of the interview, Patrick, with Tamron?
I just think she was so candid. She was so open about her thoughts on it. I didn't get the sense there was any filter, right? She's genuine. She's authentic. She brings, real life experience to the conversation, and she wasn't afraid to share it. And it was interesting when she was talking about, she said something to the effect where she knows it's not all going to go away. There is going to be people who are either racist or. She doesn't have to be liked by everyone.
Right.
But the system that we all operate in has to treat everyone equally. Yeah. And that's the most important, I think, part of this is that whether it's the police, the justice system, society in general, everyone should be treated equally. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
People are, you don't like me, Sarah. We're fine with that, right? So,
That is not true. I would not be doing 103 episodes if I didn't like you. And, we get to agree to disagree lots of times on the show, but it's great. I learn things.
And by the way, I think you've come a long way on your understanding of politics. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit on that front.
Well, that's true. You have inspired me to learn more, to take more of an initiative about politics and to get in the weeds some more. So I do feel better educated, 100%. And, I enjoy giving you a hard time on the podcast because, you have to be sort of serious because you're like, really running stuff. So I love, I love giving you a hard time. No, guys, you need to today go and find Patrick's podcast. We do it together every single week. We usually release episodes on Tuesday or Wednesdays. It's called The Paolini Perspective on iTunes. We're going to put it in the comments, Paoline. Hit a subscribe, leave Patrick a review. We would love that. Now, Patrick, my audience is curious. What am I like as an employee?
What do you like?
Yeah. Tell people, what is it like managing me?
Well, so you and I have had this discussion for the last several years, and we know each other for a long time. You still try to claim you're a millennial, and I always say you're not. I will say managing you was kind of like managing a millennial or the stereotypical millennial. I don't personally believe that. Several years ago, but you've come a long way. I think you've grown up.
Well, thanks for not firing me. Really, that's actually what I'm most grateful for. Because, like I said at the start of this, for a while there, I wondered.
Wait a minute. By the way, I tried to hire you full time several years ago, and you rejected me.
You did. I did. Yeah, I did. Now I want to rescind that. Actually, I'm available now. No, I'm just kidding. It's true because I really love doing podcasting, and I wanted the freedom to do anything that I wanted. And obviously, if we're working together, I don't know though. Maybe things have changed now. I was thinking I would have to behave more, but you know what? Yeah. You're right. I've matured.
I don't think you think you've matured.
Absolutely. Don't you think? I mean,
so is that marriage or is that age?
Well, actually, I think it's a little marriage. My husband, this will not shock you, but my husband is more probably mentally stable than I am. So he's giving me a lot to think about. He's truly a sounding board for me being all over the place. So, I think that's helped a lot. But, I wanted to ask you one story, and I know we'll talk about this on your show. TikTokers are alleging that they basically ruined Trump's rally in Tulsa. So, they said that they reserved all these tickets and then didn't show up. What do you think?
What do I think about? Did they do it or what? Or
do you think they did it? Their claim, that's what they're saying for the poor attendance. We're hearing today that the president is furious at how the rally went.
He should be furious. Only 6,200 people showed up. I mean, they were planning to have a full arena and then an overflow. They already had plans in place to address the overflow. At one point, I believe they tweeted out that they were going to have 800,000 or 1 million people had reserved seats or tickets or what have you. 6,200 people is an abysmal turnout. I believe New York Times did write a piece yesterday that the teens across America, either TikTok or I think they said K-pop individuals, right? We're reserving, so which clearly gave the appearance that there was going to be a lot more people in attendance. I don't believe there was protesters outside or any significant protesters to block. I believe one of the excuses they came up with was that people shied away and protesters were blocking the entrance to the arena. That does not appear to be the case. Is this a sign of that? The rallies that Trump used 4 years ago to kind of really energize his base,
right?
Is waning, and he's in trouble. Is it people just don't want to be inside an arena with COVID? A combination of both. But when you're expecting a large turnout like that and only get 6,200 people, it's
not good.
Not good. It's not a good sign. Maybe it's a good sign that people are smart and they don't want to go inside a building not wearing masks during, we're still in a pandemic, or it's a foreshadowing of what's coming for Trump, and that they're just
Yeah, people are tired of it, or they.
Now, I did read, I believe it was in, don't quote me on this, but I think it was the Wall Street Journal, that the online viewing of it broke a record. So maybe a lot of people just didn't want to be in an arena and just felt uncomfortable, being non-self-distanced with no masks at a political rally. Which is actually smart, right?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Okay, well, that's a little taste of what we're going to be talking about on your show this week.
Sure, yeah.
We'll be talking about that. It's the Paolini Perspective on iTunes. Right now, the latest episode is with talk show host Tamron Hall, who's amazing, who talks Black Lives Matter, talks her experience as a Black woman and a talk show host, making it in a huge, national platform, and just where she thinks that the country should go. So that's up right now on iTunes.
Yeah, I mean, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, no, it's awesome. I'm glad that you hopped on today.
I'm glad you had me. I mean, we didn't talk anything, controversial.
I've got a list of topics. Do you want to talk about Mama June's $2,500 a day meth habit? What do you think? Do you think Mama June was doing $2,500 in meth?
When I was waiting to be brought in, what were you talking about? What did Justin Bieber do now?
Okay, so Justin Bieber, there's an allegedly back in 2014, a woman came forward over the weekend and said that he assaulted her in a hotel room. But, she gives details like he forcibly kissed her, all these things. So overnight, he responds and he's like, and she says that this happened at the Four Seasons Hotel. Okay. So overnight, he goes, oh, wait a minute. I have receipts back from 2014. And all of the times where she said that he was in the hotel or whatever, he shows pictures. He was with Selena Gomez at an Airbnb where he was staying, that he was then with his manager on the side of a stage. And he says, this is not only false, now I'm suing you. So get ready, because this is completely untrue.
So he came out aggressive.
Very aggressive, very aggressive. But what we were saying is, is that where it's at now? Which, obviously we believe victims 100%. But as a major public figure, it was interesting that they could just, produce these receipts.
I mean, if, for me, like if you're using American Express or another credit card, I mean, that's easy. You can pull those up easily online and kind of verify where you've been and so forth. I don't think you have to keep them in in an envelope necessarily, but that's interesting that he kind of went right. In defense of himself.
But there was a ton of stuff over the weekend. Joe Rogan laughing at jokes with Joey.
Yeah. So what do you think? That goes back to what, 2011, I believe?
Well, look, you know what? We were talking about this. I think, and I was talking to my intern and producer before we came on the show, and they were saying that they think this is really bad for Joe Rogan. And I said, I don't think it's going to be, because I think Joe Rogan is now so big, so independent. I don't think you're going to cancel Joe.
Why are more people... It seems like more people are concerned that Joe Rogan laugh at it than the actual
Joey Diaz. Well, because no female comics yet have actually come forward and said it's true. So I think with the Joe Rogan story is, how do you know, were those two guys taking it too far and making a joke that now doesn't really land well?
Yeah, I didn't hear. I heard the story. I didn't hear the audio though.
Well, Joey Diaz is basically saying, like, any female comics that wanted to come up at the Laugh Factory or whatever in LA, where he's the host, they would have to sleep with him or do something if they wanted to get on stage. And then Joe Rogan was laughing at that, but nobody's come forward and said this is really true yet.
Yeah, I think, listen, I didn't hear the audio. I read the story. I agree with you. I think Rogan will probably be okay because he's his own brand. I mean, if he was working for, company or something else. He just signed $100 million deal with Spotify.
I know. Yeah. Well, and I think too, again, I don't think we know the context, like if the story is true, and he's laughing at Joey Diaz's joke. So it's not like it's an allegation against Joe. If it is true and Joe is laughing at it, certainly not appropriate, but I don't think that you're going to cancel Joe Rogan. Joe also over the weekend said something like, we don't need to wear masks, but
So he hasn't apologized, or he hasn't said he did anything wrong.
No, and I think Joe Rogan in general says on his show, he really doesn't engage in social media. He refuses to apologize and do all those things because it's just like an endless, you're not going to win.
Listen, Tamron, we talked about the cancel culture. and she's not in agreement with it either, in terms of, everyone going after everyone for going back years and years and years.
Well, it's a tricky one, right? Because I mean, isn't the goal, it's so hard. We talk about this a lot on the Paolini perspective, is who gets canceled, who doesn't. Are you helping people learn lessons and evolve by firing them? Or are you making them angry? It's hard to, it's so case by case.
Yeah, no, it is, especially when comedy is involved. I know you and I have talked about it on our podcast. Comedy is a tough spot right now. I mean, a lot of comedians won't do comedy on college campuses. They're concerned that, you can't tell inappropriate jokes anymore because they're taken as fact or out of context. I think it's very difficult to be a comedian right now. And depending on the context of the joke, right? I mean, it's I certainly won't want to be a comedian right now in terms of some of the things you can or cannot say.
You got a good gig. We're all stuck at home and we're all watching Channel 5.
I love it. Watching Channel 5. I love it. Well,
Patrick, look, I'm so glad that you hopped on. We're definitely.
This is great. Thanks for having me.
You did well. I think I'll actually let you come on again. I wasn't sure, but the audience seems to be responding well to you. So you know what? All right, I think we'll have you back.
All right. Well, I'd love to come back.
But you guys definitely need to check out the show. It's the Paolini Perspective. Search it on iTunes. We're leaving it in the comment. New episode drops this week. And check out the episode with Tamron Hall. She was certainly inspiring and just very, very candid, as you mentioned. So
Can I mention one thing? So, as a result of everything that's happened over last month, Fox 5, we actually started last week, a new franchise called Race to Equality. And we're going to spotlight people in the communities, leaders, start a conversation, and hope that we can move toward true equality in this country. You work for Fox 5. You know how diverse our staff is, and we're extremely proud of that. But hopefully, this can really start a conversation and provide some tangible solutions and educate people. And so we're looking forward to it's going to be a weekly franchise called Race to Equality. So I just wanted to mention that.
Awesome. Patrick, thank you so much. You guys, Patrick Paolini, my boss from Fox 5. Great to see you. We'll see you this week. Thank you, Patrick. Guys, I also want to remind you, we obviously put out new shows every single day here on the Hey Frase Podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, but we also have a Patreon where we drop 2 new exclusive podcast episodes every single month. Patreon.com/HeyFrase and a video. There's a video up there right now of my time in Maine. And oh my God, it's just my mom. It's hysterical.
This is one of my favorite videos thus far of the Patreon.
Really?
I love vlogs. I love seeing behind the scenes. And I think this is such a good look. You give an entire tour.
I love their house. I mean, it needs some, it's got some wear and tear. But it's like, I mean, it's certainly, if you're looking for a Joanna Gaines design, it ain't that, but.
Well, it's got the bones though. It's got those beams that the Gaines love.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, that's up, patreon.com/HeyFrase. All right, look, I want to end though with your thoughts on Crystalia. We because we teased the Crystalia story. We teased the Ansel Elgort, who's the baby driver, the hot actor. Yes. Crystalia, I got to tell you, I was really sad by this because I'm a huge Crystalia fan. And it's a bummer. It's sad all the way around. And you're a big Brandon Schaub.
I do enjoy him, but it's only because of the slicked back hair. Truly. It's not really because of his comedy. I don't think he's the top of his game, I have to say.
Well, I don't know if you saw the video, but he was co-hosting a podcast and they were talking about the moment that they heard the Crystalia allegations and he broke down crying, just how sad he is. He's just so hurt and angry and he can't believe it. And at the time they hadn't talked to Chris. It was it's a really powerful clip that's circulating on Twitter.
Wait, will this make me like Brendan even more?
Yeah, it's really sad. Because, those guys obviously all do comedy together. And
I'm sure you saw Whitney Cummings.
Whitney Cummings coming out and saying, 100%, she supports the women. She's furious as well. So it's really sad. It's sad all the way around. Obviously, very sad for the victims. And, these young girls were being groomed by him. And even after telling him they were 16, he said, well, I still want to make out with you. It's like, dude, it's crazy.
It's disgusting when you use your place of power to abuse. Yeah, like they're abusing where they are. They're abusing their level of success they have in the business. But just don't sell yourself short. I don't care how young you are. Just know that it's not okay. And if you have a story that you need to come out, don't be afraid to share it. This is the time. I think people are coming out right now, and it's the time to expose these people. It doesn't matter how big they are. It doesn't matter how much, exposure that they have already. Like if you can make a difference and if your voice comes out and helps other women come out, you've got to do it.
100%. And I think people are, what I love that is happening with Me Too, with racism in this country, people are just calling people on their shit, just like, okay, it's not okay whether you're, joking or whatever. The fact is, Crystalia was 30 years old with this, trying to get with a 16-year-old. Like, this shit is not okay, So I think that's what the beauty of the time that we're in is people are like, no, we're calling out this shit. And people are believing their stories, which is a really good thing. Ansel Elgort, though, from Baby Driver, same deal. Yep. He's got a woman that says that he forcibly had sex with her. He says it's a former girlfriend, and that the relationship ended in a toxic way where he stopped speaking to her.
He also was similar to Justin Bieber's case, came out fast and, had a response quickly. And I think his response was good. And I'm not defending him by any means, but I'm just saying that he had a reasonable explanation. He said, look, it ended really badly. I'm very sorry for the way that I acted. I essentially ghosted her. And I just think it wasn't handled in the correct way. But he says that it was a consensual relationship.
Now, did you find though, they also brought up like old, like articles that he was like interviewed in GQ, basically saying that he would keep like comic book posters on his wall because it was a great way to engage and sort of make women feel more comfortable. But ultimately he was like the ultimate like predator. Do you see these quotes? It's really fucked up. Like people have gone back and then found interviews where he's basically talking about the way that he like dates women, and it's really fucking creepy in light of this story.
Okay, well, when you put those pieces together, that puzzle is not pretty. Okay, well, he was 20 at the time, right? And so this was like years ago again.
Years ago. But since then, some interviews that he's done in regards to relationships have not held up well, girl.
In the past. So he's saying that having posters makes someone feel comfortable, like he's still a kid at heart, like, and this makes them feel like, oh, he's just a kid like me. Okay, that's not helpful.
Wait till go into the deep dive on that shit.
Ooh, see, that's not looking good. And you got to put all these pieces together because, just hearing one interview and having them come out and say, I didn't do it. Yeah, that's not good enough. You need to go back, see what they said.
It's crazy. Last story, and then we'll talk Mama June tomorrow. But Ja Rule just came out with a Greek restaurant promo in California for a Greek restaurant. He can't say any of the Greek names. Now, to be honest with him, I couldn't either, so I'm not hating on him for that. Because aside from like hummus and tzatziki sauce, like I don't know any of the shit either. But I didn't realize this. TMZ also dropped a story that you can hire Ja to come to your COVID party. Like he will come, he'll show up, and like you can party with him. I think that we need to hit up Ja's people and see if he will do a commercial like this Greek commercial for the Hey Frase show.
We have to, and we've got to get him to mispronounce phrase. Just be like, hey Frase.
Well, that'd be easy because no one can pronounce
No one else can pronounce it.
Hey, Frase, yeah.
Now, Sarah, what do you think? Is he bored in quarantine, or is he really just not doing well money-wise, and he's just ready to sell it all? What's going on?
I appreciate the hustle. This man needs the coins.
Hustle.
I mean, we also, Firefest. Firefest, they had 2 slices of bread and a piece of cheese for everyone. Their ass is getting sued. They're still in litigation for that shit.
That is true. That's why he needs the money. I'm going to play a quick clip from this 2020 Gyro commercial.
You recall from the video, like Ja was the least concerned.
Yes, the least concerned.
About Firefest. He's like, it's all going to come together.
You ever made your life so good that when it thinks of you got to have Peters. Pop Cristo Peters.
Is this picking up?
Christos Pitas. Not really. Okay, guys, go to Twitter. It's look, we got to figure out fucking video capability on the show. Anyhow, so there it is. I love him. How much do you think they paid him for that?
I was thinking the same thing while watching this. I'm thinking at least At least 20K. Also, the green screen quality is shit though.
They did not pay him 20,000. I was going to hit him up and see if for $2,000 or 2,500 if he'll do like a 30-second shout out. You don't think? It's Ja Rule.
Like, you're right. I mean, okay, no, but I'm thinking the pizza place, because they're an actual, like, they had him do video full thing, and it's a full ass video spread. Like, that's a 2-minute video of him being like, capita copita, kipu cap. You know, what would we do? We would just have like 30 seconds. I think 2,500 is good.
Download this podcast. That would be it. Broke bitch. Oh my God.
Hey, Papa Christos. Who gave him that I Love Greece shirt too? That's fantastic.
You guys, I love him so much. I feel like this is the best way for him to rehab his like whole thing. And 50 Cent is going to completely come after him. And I love it. I think 50 Cent is already trolling him. I don't even care. I like him more.
He's getting trolled.
He pissed me off in that Firefest thing because I feel like he and that other kid, who was the guy that was like the fake finance guy that's now in jail still.
Oh my God. What is his name? Oh,
I don't know. Anyway, somebody will know in the comments. But they pissed me off because they really had no disregard. They had complete disregard for everyone's finances. And Ja was just like, it'll work out. It'll work out. It's cool. And it's like, hello, we have 4 styrofoam containers and like 3 slices of lettuce. Like, it's not good.
It'll work out. It'll work out. Oh, Billy McFarland, CEO of Fire Media.
But now I like Ja. I'm back. See, it only takes like one thing to rehab your image with me.
Oh, a little gyro commercial and you're back. Okay.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a lamb gyro? I mean, I'm here for it. Like,
I'm here for it too. Not vegan at all. I feel like he's got to be on Cameo too.
Oh, we got to see if he's got a Cameo. Yeah. I bet for $100 we can get him on Cameo. All right. I'm sweating. I'm spitzing and my bangs are going every which way. So you guys, we love you. Download the podcast. Share it with a friend. Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Bye.